LED light kit in amber. It says get lit. When I was in school, getting lit was a whole different thing. So let's see what this little thing's made out of. This is gonna be sweet, I'll tell you that. I don't even know how to open it. It's gonna be awesome though. I know that much. Look at these things, like lightsabers. Got a lot of wires here for some lights, but this thing must have turning signals and everything else. Alright, so there's that. Let's see what other kinds of crap it comes with. Instructions, we don't need those. Wow, it still feels pretty heavy. There's a couple pieces of empty cardboard, folks. Could have used these for the running boards. So, ooh, this is good. Some of our favorite connectors. We got some Scotch locks in there. So that'll be great. We'll do some poking along the wires with our test light, jamming holes. To tie it up, we're out of here. It does come with instructions though, so that's good. What else? Got little brackets. Must be we have to screw it to the rocker panels or something, I imagine. Recon. Recon mission here. How to install Big Rig ice. Sweet. Well, according to this, I hate aftermarket stuff. Why do I say yes to this crap? This is not the Big Rig Ice Kit. The Big Rig Ice Kit has two different colored LEDs in it, apparently. Oh, this just makes me sick looking at it. I'm gonna throw up a little. But anyhow, this one does have 3 wires, so we've got a turn signal, so it must be it lights up brighter. Maybe a different color, I don't know. And we got a running light, and then we've got our ground. Yeah, that's what it tells us, yeah. Running light, turn signal. Ay, ay, ay. Can't believe I'm gonna put this on. I probably should delete this video. You guys know all I ever do is piss and moan about aftermarket stuff, but it's got a lot of wire, so we should be able to reach something with that. Do some chopping. There's the LEDs on one side, black on the other, so we'll see what these little brackets look like. Kind of sucks, we're gonna have to like screw some holes and stuff, but so there's this. Yeah, it looks like our brackets they're kind of curved. The directions are really vague. They just tell you just kind of go screw it in there all willy-nilly, and that's that. Too bad we couldn't attach them to the steps. That'd be sweet, but well, let's go take a poke and see where these things are gonna go. There's not a driver's side or passenger side, they're both the same wire colors, all that. And then they've got, looks like, I don't know if this is a little fuse here on the ground side. Yep, they got a little glass fuse in here. Crap. Maybe I just broke it. Maybe not. Maybe I did. There, got that all back together. Alright, fantastic. So I figured we'll start over here on the passenger side, that way if we screw it up, and by we I mean us, that way he doesn't have to look at it every day when he gets in on the driver's side. Whoa, hang on. But first, I'm gonna hook her up to a little jump pack here. We're gonna make sure this little guy works before we get too far. So that's the yellow wire, and here comes the red wire. That's yellow and red right there. That's yellow, red. So it just brightens it up a little bit for our blinker. Yellow, red. Yellow, red. So that's it. Nothing fancy. All right, so basically these are supposed to illuminate your side steps. So they're almost the same length as the side step. In an effort to make them even on both sides, I'm just gonna start at the front bracket, you know, with one of these lights, and keeping the black side facing up towards the body, and the supplied brackets, which are stainless, which is good, and the screws are stainless. I think what we're gonna do to keep the spacing and everything equal is use the bracket on the flange here of the pinch weld. And we'll just, as long as the brackets are all the same length, we'll just stick them up here like this. We'll drill a small hole, spray a little fluid film in there, and then stick the stainless screw in. And I think that's about the best, you know, the best you can do. And then we'll figure out how, you know, what kind of spacing we need on them. But, you know, it shouldn't take more than, you know, maybe 4 or 5 of these on each side. We'll see how many brackets they come with. And they'll be back in far enough, you don't have to worry about somebody kicking them, you know, when you step on the steps. You know, you're not gonna get your boots under there and boot them. And I don't think they'll be, you know, really exposed. I mean, of course, everything's exposed to the elements around here, but I mean, that's kind of how these things are supposed to go, I guess. And we'll just leave it at that. So that's the plan. Let's get drilling some new holes in this baby. So I think I'll get some vice grips ready to lightly hold one of these on our light here. The other $1 million question you got to kind of figure out too is where is the electricity coming from, you know, to run these. You know, according to their directions, what they want you to do is they want you to go up to the headlights, of course, take a headlight out and use some Scotch locks and just splice it together, and you're done. I mean, as much as I hate this stuff, you know, I'm not gonna hack it like that. That's terrible. What we will do, however, what I think probably the safest bet, fuse circuit, is likely to be the trailer hitch wiring. It's already pre-terminated. We know left and right, and we know what our running lights are back there. I don't know on these Chevrolets if they have like a lighting control module in the back or what the story is. I've got my wires facing towards the back. All the harness runs down the driver's side of this thing, which, you know, is typical on a GM. So what we'll do is we'll see if we can fish the wires through the frame. You know, we'll try to run it across this cross member. There's really no clean way to do it. We've got to stay away from the exhaust. You know, we can't go burning this thing up. Get the wires over on that side, then we'll run them down the frame. You know, we'll tie hopefully splice in our 2 marker lights over there together. And then, you know, we'll just have to run the wires back, hopefully, you know, right with the factory harness or something. And then we'll find our trailer connector back there and where the wires go for that. And then we'll just tap into those, and everybody should be happy with that. So our mount is there on that one. We'll get our furthest mount forward on first. I'm just gonna do this guy right here. I'll get another pair of vice grips. We'll get that crimped on. Can't even talk. I'm actually gonna throw open my mouth a little bit doing this. And then we'll drill a hole with our drill and then put the screws to it. How to do aftermarket garbage. I should make a song called Aftermarket Stuff. I shouldn't complain, it's work. There's a lot of shops around here that aren't doing anything. All right, so there's that, all lined up. Ah, the smell of new paint. Should I get a dollar drill bit, maybe? Maybe that would work. Yeah, let me go see if I got one that's a little bit duller. You can either drill through or push it through, one way or the other. Let's try this again. Oh, there she is. All right, we'll get some fluid film here. We'll give her a little spritz from the top side too once we get this in. I think that's it, just in the sheet metal. So what I did is I've got the light, you know, just set it up here. I took a clamp, one of the clamps it came with, and just stuck it on the light. Got it clipped on here with a pair of vice grips. And one thing you have to be mindful of is the wires, you know, where are they gonna go? We've got to grab some electricity somewhere for these and not just power to ground. You know, we can't just go grab a big toggle switch and screw it to its dash. As cool as that would be, that's not what we're gonna do. So what I think, in the instructions, they tell you to go up to the headlights, marker lights, yank them babies out, snap a couple of these Scotch locks on there, feel good about that, and problem solved. But obviously we're not gonna do that because we already hate aftermarket stuff. So I think the most feasible option here is to take our wires. We got to get them over to the driver's side of the frame because probably the easiest circuit to find that's going to be the least intrusive is the trailer hitch wiring. It's pre-terminated. It's already gone through the module. It's the correct signal that we need, and it's fuse circuit and all that baloney. Even though these draw, you know, very, very low amperage, being LED, I still think it's the smartest thing to do. So I ran the wires towards the back. I think I can fish them through the frame here, through these holes, move out the other side, across this cross member, over to the driver's side, and then run it to the back. So like I said, I've got this one clamped on. I'll find some other spots here to clamp them. We'll bust out the drill. We'll knock some holes in this old girl and spritz a little fluid film in there, and then screw it down with the stainless hardware and stainless screws that it comes with. Stainless screws, be extremely careful. They break very, very easy. You can snap the heads off them, so hopefully I don't do that and get all embarrassed. So we'll just start here at the back. This goes through about 3 layers of sheet metal here, so we have to be super careful with our stainless screws. So I'll clamp that on. I'm just going to put the clamps here at the very edge of the body, and our drill should go right up through all 3 of these, and it should poke through on the inside of our lip here, hopefully. I may be wrong. Oh, it did. Look at that. Whew. That's sweating. So now we'll swap out drill bits. Any of you guys following us on Facebook know that my drill bit selection right now is a little bit low after just having a battle with a Cummins and a Dodge. And the Mac man hasn't been here to replace them yet. And I haven't busted out the drill doctor yet either. All right, let's see if we can gently, like a little lamb, on this screw in here. There, I heard it click. So we know that's factory specs. And we've got lots of clamps. They sent lots of clamps. Probably because it's a big rig accessory. So what we'll do, I mean, it probably really doesn't need more than 4. I'll evenly space these because I'm kind of OCD when it comes to that stuff. I'll measure them up. We'll get the same process. I'm not going to show that all the way through, but essentially that's what I'm going to do. When I get done, give her a little spritz on top. Keep her from getting the crusties, because they're not good to have, especially when you're this new. And then we'll do the same thing on the driver's side, and then we'll fish this wiring around and see how it looks. So we've got the bars all installed, all the clamps on those. I did the driver's side, essentially same exact way, just 4 clamps, clamped them, screwed them, spritzed them, So now what I'm going to do is we want to get back to this cross member here because there's a hole in the frame here. I think there's a corresponding hole on the inside. And that's the only logical spot to actually run a wire across and have it somewhat decent. So I'm going to take our wire, I'm going to run it back. We're just going to zip tie it to these open holes in the body till we get back to this cab mount, and then we'll run it across through the frame. And that's the best I can do. I don't think, wow, they put carpet in the inner fender wells. Hold it nice, some kind of fiber material. So the other option is, you could run it back, I guess, up through the box, back that way and over the fender well, but I think we'll do it like this, get our wires right on the same side. Okay, so we'll do this. Probably won't have to do much on the driver's side other than just run it down the frame. So I changed my mind a little bit, right where it comes here by this body mount. I was gonna go through the hole in the frame and then up to this hole and then bring it forward. But I decided to just go up and over the frame because it follows the contour of that body mount bracket on the outside. Not a big deal, I guess. And then we'll bring it down. There's a hole right here. This will keep it from getting tangled up in the exhaust or melted, I guess, rather. I think if your exhaust starts spinning and it gets tangled up, you got other problems. So we've got a nice little soft loop there. And this is a fixed cross member here, so we don't have to worry about, when they yank the transmission out of this thing, when it starts leaking here in another 20,000 miles or so. They don't have to worry about taking this out. I'll run our wire across. We'll tie into our other set of lights, and then we'll be in good shape. So on the cross member here, I just took and popped a couple 1/4-inch holes with a drill bit, just so we got some place to attach this wire. It already had the holes in the bottom, so I'll get this just set across here. And that gives us a place to attach this. And the nice part is this undercoating is so, what's the word here? Is malleable the right word? It's flexible, smudgy, whatever. You can just smudge it back in your fresh cut hole, and we're going to keep that from getting crusty, and we'll give her a little spritz of fluid film here anyways. Any spot where we poked a hole. Hopefully help keep it from rusting a little bit. This undercoating they use is crap anyways. You see these trucks coming in here, 2 years old, just all this stuff just falls off in like big sheets, and then it just rusts underneath it. All right, so now that I've gone this far, it is actually almost 5 o'clock, and I have some stuff to do right at 6, so I cannot finish this job tonight, and the customer needs his truck. So I'm gonna he's gonna bring it back in a day or so, and he's free again to finish this job. But I don't want these wires getting tangled up or dragged or anything like that, so I'm just going to take and zip tie it right to this gas line here. If I can get the zip tie to work. Because we know it's not me, it's definitely a zip tie. No, it's my problem. So we're going to take and just wire tie the wires right to the gas line. And wire tie them back to itself too. And I'm going to bundle up the ones on the left side here. We'll just have to pick up on this when he brings it back in a day or two and get this hooked up. I just don't want to hurry through the job and do it kind of half-assed. So that'll hold it for the next couple days. Get the other side bundled up, and we'll pick up on this here shortly. Before I go here, we'll do a little recap. So there's the front of the light. You can see our clamp. You know, we've gone through and I spritzed a little fluid film on everything. You know, our other clamp, we got 4 clamps total on the lights. So you can see those, and you can see everything's been fluid filmed to kind of slow down the corrosion. You know, ran the wire over. Like I say, that there goes right up along that body mount, and then get to turn around here, comes up over the frame there. You know, it comes across. This is where we drilled the holes in that cross member. You know, it goes over, and then essentially did the same thing here on the driver's side. You know, we got your mounts there, ran the wires over, you know, all the stainless mounts and stuff. So it's essentially just a mirror image. Ran it up over that body mount, over the frame, and I've just got that wire tied there to the vet solenoid for right now, because like I say, he's gonna bring it back. This is where I'm gonna make our junction. We'll probably, you know, come down here somewhere as we'll splice our wires together, at least our running lights and our grounds, and then we'll run our wires to the back, run the 2 wires, or yeah, 3 wires. Let me think about this, our 2 turning signals and our running lights. So we're gonna run 3 wires to the back. Hopefully we can run them along the factory harness here and all the way back to this vicinity where we can just grab into our trailer connector, or, you know, wherever, look on wiring diagram, whatever seems to be the best fit. I'm gonna assume our trailer connector is gonna be the easiest. Like I say, it's a fuse circuit. We'll just let the spare tire down. We'll snag onto that. We can make good solder connections there. That way we don't have to worry about, you know, any kind of splices or anything getting funky on us. So that's how we're doing it. I cannot see a thing. This light is fantastic, except for the fact it's that bright, which is good, but when it blasts you in your peepers, then you can't see, you just see little green dots. Aftermarket stuff. I'm probably gonna get a lot of heat over this video. Fact of the matter is, I guess, I try to do the best job I can do. It's what keeps the lights on, because this guy's gonna pay the bill, and, you know, bills that get paid keep the lights on, keep the state happy. We get to pay them all of our taxes and all that business, and keeps the YouTube rolling. So even though I gripe about this aftermarket crap, we try to install it in a way in which it won't hinder any other future repair. Like I say, when they have to pull the transfer case and transmission, none of this stuff should be in the way. The only thing this will be in the way of is the body shop. But quite frankly, if it got crushed back into the rockers, bigger problems are already there. I don't foresee it being in the way of anything else currently that I can think of. Could be wrong. So that's that. Stay tuned. We'll be back in 3 days, or 3 seconds. All right, we're back. Day 2 of Project Chevy and aftermarket stuff. And this is right where we left off. Everything was twisted. Look, I can't even talk this morning. Twisted and tied and stuck to the side. We get to pick up where we left off. We were running some of these wires. We got hooked up the fuel line here over, and it was my intention and my thought that we would go to the tail light area and tie into it there. In the meantime, I have looked at a wiring diagram, and I believe that we can just jump in the side harness here, hopefully, that runs on the outside of the frame, and we can just make our little connections right here and be in good shape. We will, however, have to extend, these wires here over to grab those. Those are fuse circuits. They run from the fuse box, and send voltage back to the tail light. So instead of going back there, we'll just jump in that little harness. We'll probably put our ground somewheres. I don't really know if we need this fuse. We're going to be jumping into fused circuits. So we'll probably elect to just chop that off and put a little better connection than that there, and just tie them into that. We should be good. So what I'm thinking first is this should be the harness, because it's the only harness here. We'll see about perhaps getting either of these open. I don't know how these harnesses get all together. Take a closer look at these clips. We'll get this open. And before we even think about running our wires, what we can do is try to get some identification, some wire identification, and then we'll take it from there. Well, I have to admit, I feel kind of like a dummy. I forgot these Chevys do not have independent brake and turning signals on the back. They're all integrated into one, which kind of sucks because as I was going through and just finding wires, I found our through wires, our running lights, our left turn, our right turn, and then I don't know why I didn't think of this when I was looking at wire diagrams the other day, but on these Chevrolets, the turn signals and brake lights are the same wire. They get deciphered through the body module and then spit out back to the back. So, with that being said, every time he stepped on his brakes, it would light up his running lights nice and bright. He doesn't want that because obviously that would be kind of stupid. The only option at this point would be, to hook into our running lights, fine and dandy, and then the most feasible way would be to run wires all the way to the front of the vehicle and get off the front marker lights, because then you don't have to contend with the the obstacle of the integrated brake lights on the same wire. That is just kind of ridiculous for for this application. I've already spoke to the customer, told them to give them the options, and we're just going to do the running lights. It's kind of what we've opted to do, and it's the best solution, to be honest with you. I just don't. I mean, it would be expensive to pay a shop to, if we're going to run the harness up towards the front and do a nice job, it's going to take some time, particularly to get to the marker lights and just to tie in a silly turn signal option on these steps. So we're just going to leave it like this, hook up the run light option on these, and that'll be that. Hope not everybody's disappointed. I'm disappointed in myself for not have already thought of that. But it's not the first mistake I've ever made, so we'll just keep trucking here. We'll cut our poly loom off, because we'll use the rest of this poly loom on our left side harness to bring our right side up and over. And that way it actually looks pretty decent. We'll give ourselves some extra wire here. I'll snip them off about there. We've got plenty of wire. And then we'll extend our inner wires there from the right side and get them brought up and over the top, and then we'll make our connection. Right, so underneath the vehicle here, we need to extend this right side over, and we don't really need the red wire anymore, so we'll cut that off. And as far as the ground, we'll just put an eyelet on it under here. We'll pop it out of the harness somewheres. We'll put a ground on that. I guess we don't really need this. I suppose we could probably leave the tag on in case somebody ever looks at this in the future and wants to know what's what. We'll pop our ground out of the harness here. We'll just drill we'll drill a hole, put another. I think I actually have one of those little stainless screws left over somewheres. Find that, and we'll get that hooked up to a good ground. And I'm going to take one of these wires. We're going to extend our marker light wire up and over the top. We'll stick this little poly loom that's left over on that and run that over, and then we'll just tie it in, and then this job should be done and out the door without the turning signal option. But I suppose, I don't know why I didn't think of that. It's super embarrassing. I don't have an excuse. So I've got our connection made there. I just used the crimp and seal. Real good connections. They've got the glue and stuff in them that oozes out all over the place. And then we'll just take and get this poly loom on here like I said we would. We'll be home free. So we'll get our poly loom here. Let's see if we can't just lace it together a little bit. Let's get it to overlap. I'm such an aftermarket wiring rookie. Then we'll take a little black tape, I guess. So now that I've got them wires run up over, I want to join our two marker lights wires together, and then we'll just go into the main harness here with one poly loom instead of two. So I'll just kind of stick these up here roughly, figure out whereabouts a good spot to join these together is. Probably somewhere right in that vicinity. And then we can take, let's see, we're gonna run, well actually this one here, our left harness, that'll be the one we actually tie in with. So we will take this left harness, we'll just spread that open just a little bit if we can. It may not work. Yeah, it did. Okay, so we've got just a little tiny split in that. And then we'll take our other wire. We'll just twist that around that. We'll put a little dab of solder on it. Figure out where we want it. So you can cut this one off. Right there. So you can strip that back. We'll just come around our opening here. Twist our wire on that. Get that to hold for us. We'll actually a little torch right here. See if we can do this without making a huge mess. Okay, not burning up too much of it. Alright, so we've got a little solder on that. And then all we have to do is slip a little piece of heat shrink over this. Because we've got a good solder connection there. A little piece of heat shrink tubing. This heat shrink has the goo in it also, so it makes great sealed connections. They do make some heat shrink without the goo in it, and in my opinion it's kind of worthless. You want a good sealed connection, particularly in our environment. You don't want any of this anything getting in there. You can see hopefully you can see it, but the glue just kind of oozes right out of the ends. So that'll make a good connection. As soon as that cools, we'll take and run our two pieces of the poly loom together, put a little piece of tape on them, and then we'll continue running over here. And then we'll do the same thing here as far as splicing into that. We shouldn't, well, on this one we're gonna have to cut the wire in order to get a good sealed connection. So we'll take our little extra poly loom, we'll cut that off. Like I say, we'll work our second wire there, and then what we'll do is we'll just make a taped connection here. The best we can kind of open this poly loom up and stick it over top of the other poly loom. Hopefully make some kind of seamless looking type connection. OEM type, you know. I don't know if this is OEM or not. But something like that. And then we will use our black tape, which I always use Scotch Super 33 or Super 66. I know it might sound silly about black tape, but there is a huge difference between this and the stuff you get at the Dollar Tree. This is all I will buy. This is fantastic black tape. And I think the only difference between this and the 66 is its temperature rating. So like, you know, I think if you're putting in like an underground well, you're putting your pump down in your well, I think you have to use Scotch 66, if I remember right. I could be way wrong on that. Somebody might know. Somebody might be a tape expert and actually know that. But the Scotch Super 33 in the shop seems to work the best for me. So we have, you know, that tape connection there, and that should work good. And I'll probably put a little bit of tape behind it and up on the other harness just to keep them from unraveling. So we'll just do a little bit behind it. like about this stuff is you can actually touch it with your fingers, and it stays extremely sticky. And it sticks to itself very well, as you can see. So, you know, allows you to make, you know, nice looking connections, I guess. And if you do have a situation where you cannot heat shrink and you actually have to do, you know, solder and tape, this is probably the best tape, in my opinion, that you can use. I'm kind of curious to see what you guys' thoughts are. I know some people comment on, you know, liquid electrical tape. I don't have much experience with that, or any for that matter. So there. So there's that little wide joint, we'll call it. And then, like I say, we'll feed this on the backside here. I still got to take and wire tie that one down. We'll get these up where they need to be, out of the way. Follow along this harness. We'll go into this harness, make a connection. We're out of here. All right. Well, I just realized that I did not have the record button pushed. I'm making a lot of rookie mistakes today, but anyhow, we just went ahead and hooked up the ground wires. So I got this little ground wire here. I just took in a couple little wraps of tape on the harness, you know, basically like we did on the inside one. Drilled a hole, put little stainless screws in it. Give her a little fluid film on there to keep it from rotting out. And then we're just gonna make our connection here. But being that we are full of rookie mistakes, one rookie mistake we don't wanna make is taking our time to make a sweet connection on the wrong wire. So what we need to do is we need to make sure that the purple with the gray stripe is indeed our marker light circuit. So I'm gonna get Mrs. O and have her jump up inside here, turn our lights on for us, and we'll check that with the old scope on a rope, make sure it lights up with our marker lights, and then if it does, we'll cut it, and then we're done. All right, well, our marker lights are on. I'll just hook onto this transfer case drain plug, that's shiny. We'll do the hokey pokey here. We got a test light. Now, probably I'm gonna jump back up there and turn the lights off, make sure we didn't just, you know, happen to hit a full-time power. And if we got no juice with the lights off, make one little connection, done. Oh, holy smokes. Got busy real quick. Had to walk away so long, I came back and my little Astro light I had here was dead in a doornail. So we swapped her out for this one. I went ahead and made our connection. So I just cut the marker light wire. I don't even know where we left off, but I'm pretty sure this is where we were. If not, it's where we are now, folks. So did a crimp and seal, and that's, you know, really good connection. I'm just gonna take our, whoa, hang on there. We'll take our little bit of factory tape that we saved. Oh my gosh, I get this thing out of here. You have to bear with me. I'm not making out too well. We'll take it, get that kind of wrapped back around there. I'll get the other piece we have. I'll wrap it around. Get my dang light to stay where I put it. Wrap it around this section. I'll tape this up a little bit so this stays on, and that's good. We'll stick that back in the harness, get our harness tape back up, and then we should be in good shape for the shape. So what's the problem?
My puppy.
Your little stuffed puppy? Which one?
The black one.
The little black one?
Mm-hmm.
Did you bring it to work?
Mm-hmm.
Did you take it to school?
I
All right. Is it in the office? Did you ask Mommy to help see if you can find it? Get your finger here, Mom. What'd she say? I think she's on the phone. So why don't you wait for her to get off the phone and see if she can help you find it? And if not, we can only assume that you took it to school, right? And then you can check on Monday.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So don't lose your mind. All right, where'd you get the cookie?
Randy?
Lanny, you brought you some cookies? Did you look in the fridge?
No, they were on the counter.
Huh?
They were on the counter.
Yeah, but you know what else? I think he left you a little treat in the fridge too. What else does he like to bring to you?
Chocolate milk.
Yep, there's a whole big old thing of chocolate milk in there. Get your shoes on.
Okay. Bye, Daddy. Come back after.
Okay. Girl problems. Man, today has gotten super busy. And then Trinity goes and loses her little doggy. Then loses her mind. So what we'll do, I did not grab near enough tape to do this. We'll put a little piece of tape around this harness. I'll grab a longer piece. We'll pretty much do it just like they have the little factory one here poking out. Keep that from unzipping down through that poly loom. We'll just come right around and we'll go right up the other side with it. Set. I think I've probably said that like 1,000 times already. I did put a little fabric tape back on for what it's worth. We've got good connection, so I'm not too awful worried about any water intrusion or getting the crusties in there or anything like that. And that, folks, is that. They're all hooked up, wired up, I guess. Got our steps online. Of course, we saw all that yesterday. And all of our wiring that leads across. Let me grab a little light here. Go over this with you again real quick before we wrap this thing up and get on with some rusty, crusty crap. So the wires, like I say, just runs up and over. I just went along that cross member. Put our little ground wire in there, up and over behind the fuel lines, over the brake lines, somewhere is over in this neck of the woods here. It comes over, we joined them together as one, and then brought it around, tied into our harness, little ground wire, little spritz of the good stuff, got her all back, and she's lit up all shiny nice. There's what the old Chevy looks like. Somewhat in the dark from a distance, so yeah, you can see them just standing off to the side pretty easily. I guess if that's the the look you're going for, then that's it. Gives it a little bit of like an underglow. Basically, turn this Chevrolet into a tuner. It's pretty much a tuner now with the underglow kit. Well, there you have it, folks. Side steps and fancy LED light bar units on a Chevy. This going in next. Not really. I keep this around to remind me how much I hate aftermarket stuff, though. Do I still hate it? Oh, absolutely. Try to do the best job I could putting this on. Good customer. Frankly, this stuff pays the bills, and my hands aren't dirty when it's over. So that's kind of nice. Kind of miss the rust though. So I'm gonna get back to doing some rusty, crusty repairs. I don't know how this video is gonna turn out. I did have to walk away about a zillion times, and of course we had a little brief interruption in the middle of doing this, and I don't know. I think you get the gist of it. It's not too awful difficult to do, and unfortunately we didn't have the time to run the wires all the way up front, get into the front turning signals, or pick them up where they come out of the fuse box up here. But it is what it is. It'll be fine with the little glow action they got going on there, and I think we'll be satisfied with that. It's too bad they didn't have independent trailer or turn and brake on the back of these, but I think it's always been their habit. Well, no, it wasn't. They used to have a amber turn signal, didn't they, and a red brake light. Yeah, they did actually for quite some time. Neither here nor there. It's not an option on this pickup, so we'll just leave it at that. just got an underglow, no flashy. So thanks for watching. Check us out, Google+, Facebook. If you want to connect with us socially there, subscribe to our channel if you haven't done that yet. And just remember, viewers, if I can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching.